out there. They're not doing the work. They just feel because I've been governor or speaker or CS at some point, I deserve to be president. Or they're not doing the work like we see Sifuna do. They're not doing the work like we see President William Ruto do.
Thank you, Fred. First, allow me make it clear that away from being the chair of the United Opposition, I'm a member of the DCP party. And my party, Rigathi Gachagua, has been on record many times. And I align with this thought line that there is no football match that can win a game when their players are not on the field. And for those players to actually play and compete, they must be present in the training field. They must first go to training and come and play. Mm-hmm. So it does not make sense for somebody to sit in the bushes somewhere or in a hotel taking tea and mandazi as Rigathi Gachagua does the donkey work, and then you come and sit on the table and claim the principal title and some zoning imagination because you imagine that there is some quarters of some few numbers somewhere in the corner that supports you. Let me tell you, and with my brother, my senior brother Advice Mundalo, we were in Azimio, and Raila Odinga was walking around with more than 30 principles. But when the time to do the work came, they disappeared to thin air, including some of the people masquerading around today criticizing Rigathi Gachagua for telling them to do the work. Some of them were in Azimio, and they were not doing much that could actually be equated to the principal title. When the time came to do the work and actually give William Ruto a run for his money, they disappeared. Raila was doing everything. So that is what Rigathi Gachagua saw, and he has seen it coming, and he's going to stop it. If you look at the conversation around the mountain and everything, Rigathi Gachagua is not just focused on the mountain. He's talking countrywide, and he's saying we must end the era of political briefcase parties. We cannot take advantage of multi-party democracy fought for in 92 just to have parties all over and claim the title of principal and do nothing about it, just sit somewhere with imaginary numbers which you cannot actually substantiate and come to the table and say we must be zoned for, the issue of zoning is what's bringing all this pressure. Because there are some few individuals who believe that certain areas must be zoned for them. Mm-hmm. But they are not doing the work. They are not being seen on the ground. They are not doing what it takes. And if you look at maybe the political matrix of Nairobi, leave alone Mount Kenya, Nairobi alone, people are saying that, there has been conversation between my party leader and certain party leaders, and they are going to divide Nairobi, and they are going to do what?
Because that's the question. Where does it leave the young politician?
But what we are saying is, if the decision is going to be made in the boardrooms, where some of us might not get the advantage of going in, then what's the essence of being in those parties? Mm-hmm. You see, that's the question young people are asking. And that's what Rigathi Gachagua is also asking. If you want me to zone out Ken Babu from Nairobi Senatorial race, then show us your candidate, yes, or you and your candidate. What are you doing to popularize your candidature and your party? Mm-hmm. So that I can sit Ken Babu down and tell him, my brother, these people have done work, and at this point, seed grounds for them. But until then, Ken Babu must run on DCP ticket and win the seat. And that's why he said that we are going as a party, we are going to field all over the country. Mm-hmm. Because we've done the work, we've put the effort, we've invested, we've popularized our candidature. So there is no point of zoning that we can now start having that conversation. Finally, on that issue, let me say this. When we talk about issues around the Kikuyus and Mount Kenya votes, and it's good we served with my brother in Azimio youth level ranking. In the voting of 2022, Mount Kenya gave William around 3.2 million, the president of the current president. They gave Raila Odinga 1.2 million. That's about 4.4. And around 1.6 million people did not show up to vote. They boycotted the elections. And if you add all that, it takes us to around 6 million. And then with the IBC registration that happened recently, there are about 400,000 people that had registered new registered voters. That's about 6.4 million. And of course, if you collect the Kikuyu voters that are across the country who are scattered all over, that will give us around 1.5 million again. So when Rigathi Gachagua says that he's coming on the table with about 7.5 million votes, he's talking about numbers that he can actually substantiate. Remember, we're talking about a political scientist, somebody who understands numbers and he knows politics is numbers, and there's nothing more. You either bring numbers or you sit side, you see ukae kando upangwe. So some of these people who are now making noise and crying left, right, cannot actually sit on the table and say, these are our numbers. But because they have some outfits, they want to coerce people to sit down and give them the same privileges that is being given to that fellow with the numbers. So what I want to say is politics of the era of briefcase politics must come to an end, so that also young people can also get the opportunity to be given the right chance to be on the table. And
Jared,
just before Jared comes, because you see, this matter was actually pinned on my party leader, Vibaya Sana. What I want to say as I finish is this. Rigathi Gachagua understands William, because this is a man he worked with in 2022, and he knows the energy, the kind of energy the president comes with. That's why he never sleeps. He wakes up, even as we're talking right now, there's a delegation trooping to Amunyoro today. And there's a planned delegation from Luo Nyanza that is coming to Amunyoro in a week or 2 weeks' time. We are going to take their delegation from Luo Nyanza. So what Rigathi Gachagua is doing is engaging, continuous engagement, so that we have people who believes that one term should happen, being engaged and coming on the table.
Okay.
As opposed to what happened to Raila in 2022. We had 30 principles, but Raila was doing the work.
Yes.
And Rigathi Gachagua has seen it, and he's not going to do the donkey work for others to eat.
Jared, this also cuts across to the other side of the political divide. Even your party talks about zoning. And there are so many people